If you left this number, the square root of 3 over 10, like this on a math test, well, your teacher would definitely mark it wrong. Now, if you know why that is, go ahead and tell me in the comment section, and better yet, tell me how to fix this so it is correct mathematically. So here we have the square root of an entire fraction, 3 over 10. All right, so we have the square root symbol kind of covering this entire fraction. But we have an awesome little property when it comes to square roots and radicals. This little symbol right here is also known as a radical in mathematics. And this particular property, what you're allowed to do is when you have one big square root over a fraction, we can actually take the square root of the numerator and divide it by the square root of the denominator, just like this. So this is what we want to be thinking about. We got this one big square root. Let's go ahead and write this entire fraction, or the square root of this entire fraction, as the square root of its numerator divided by the square root of its denominator. Okay, this is really the key to doing this problem. All right, so that's the first step, is understanding that the square root of an entire fraction can be written like this. All right, now why is this important? Well, here when I look at this number, I have the square root of 3 and I'm dividing it by the square root of 10. And the square root of 10 is something called an irrational number in mathematics. Okay, this is a very, very important concept. Let's go ahead and just take off this IR part, right? So if we don't have an irrational number, we have a rational number. So let's just kind of for the sake of this video, let's do a fast review. So here is 0 on our number line. Then we have 1, 2, numbers like this, -1, -2. These are what? These are integers, right? So then, of course, we have our counting numbers, our natural numbers, our whole numbers, and then we have our integers. Then we have these numbers called rational numbers, which are fractions or numbers that can be expressed as fractions using integers. So let's say a fraction like 2/3 would be located right here. Okay, I could take 2 and I could take 3. So this would be a rational number. Again, any number that you can express as a fraction of integers is what we call a rational number. So what's an irrational number? Well, it's a number that cannot be expressed as a fraction. All right, that's one way to define it. Another way to define it is a non-repeating, non-terminating decimal. So in other words, let's take pi, for example. Okay, that number, most of you might be saying, well, it's not equal to 3.14. No, that's a real rough approximation for pi. Pi is an irrational number. So you have 3.14. This value for pi continues on and on to infinity, and the digits don't repeat and they don't terminate. They just go on and on and on in random kind of sense out forever to infinity. So it would be entirely impossible to write out all the digits of pi. Same thing with the square root of 10. Now, if you go into your calculator and take the square root of 10, you're going to get a decimal, and it's going to go on and on and on and on and on. It's not going to repeat. It's not going to terminate. So you would need a calculator with an infinitely wide screen to get all the values of the square root of 10. Okay, so this doesn't make sense, right? We're trying to divide something by a number that goes on infinitely. Okay, we don't even know the value of it. So conceptually speaking, in mathematics, we don't want to be dividing a value by an irrational number, right? So, for example, if I have a pizza and I say, hey, let's split this up 4 different ways, well, we can kind of get that, right? There you go. There's 4 different ways we can split up the pizza. But can we split the pizza up this many ways, the square root of 10? Well, I don't really know when this value stops. So we start having issues in mathematics when we have an irrational number in the denominator. So that's kind of a long-winded explanation, but it's very important that you understand that, because when you're working with fractions and square roots, you need to be on the lookout for irrational numbers in the denominator. Okay, we're not concerned about them in the numerator, it's in the denominator. So we're going to have to get rid of any irrational numbers in the denominator, and this is not that difficult. Are you struggling in math because of confusing lessons? Maybe the teacher's not showing you all the steps you need or things are happening too fast. Well, there is a better way. So come on over to my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. There you'll find clear step-by-step instruction by me that will definitely make a huge difference in your math success. So make sure to check out all my courses by following the links in the description. Okay, so let's get back to our problem. So we know that the square root of 3 over 10, we can write that as the square root of 3 over the square root of 10. So we're just going to basically take our fraction here, our square root of 3 times the square root of 10, and we're going to multiply it by 1. Okay, so if I said, if we take any value and multiply it by 1, what is going to be the answer? Well, of course, anything times 1 is just what that, whatever you started with, right? This is what we call an identity in mathematics. So we can take anything we want, multiply by 1. We don't change the result, okay? But the one that we're going to use is a very special one, a very unique one. And here is the one that we're going to use. Okay, so we're going to take this square root of 3 and we're going to square root of 3 over 10, or square root of 3 divided by the square root of 10, excuse me. And here is the one that we are going to use. This is 1. Now, here we have the square root of 10 divided by the square root of 10. Again, anything divided by itself is what? Well, it is 1. Okay, so you're like, well, this is crazy. Why do all this work? What's the whole point of it? Well, when we take this square root right here, the square root of 10, and we just divide it by itself, square root of 10 times square root of 10, that is 1. But when we multiply, okay, these square roots, okay, again, we're multiplying by 1, so we're going to multiply across this way. This is going to get rid of this square root in the denominator. Let me just go ahead and show you how this works because it's much easier. But I really kind of want to make sure you understand that you're not breaking the problem. So some of you out there, of course, in your math classes, your algebra classes are taught, oh, here's the square root of 10, multiply whatever the square root down here is, multiply both the numerator and denominator by it. That's perfectly fine, but just understand what's kind of going on big picture wise. I think that's a better way to conceptualize and really comprehend the material. Okay, so let's start with the easy stuff. The square root of 10 times the square root of 10. Here we have two separate square roots. We can write this under one big square root right here. So the square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is the same thing as the square root of 10 times 10. And the square root of 3 times the square root of 10 is the same thing as one big square root. Of course, that's going to be 3 times 10. Okay, so let me slow down here because I'm kind of stumbling in my words and make sure you understand what's going on, right? We're just simply multiplying fractions here. All right, so let's go ahead and now simplify this. So the square root of 3 times 10, of course, is going to be the square root of 30. And the square root of 10 times 10 is the square root of 100. And here is the big payoff, right? The square root of 100 is 10. I can get rid of this square root of 10. That was an irrational number, and I kind of tricked my problem into a rational number. The square root of 100 is a rational number because I could take the square root of 100. That's a 10, and now I have this lovely whole number there. So now I have the square root of 30 over 10, which is perfectly fine. Remember, the issue is having an irrational number in the denominator. Okay, we can't have that situation. We're not concerned about irrational numbers in the numerator. Okay, so with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.